Hi ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world. Myself, your friend Amjadali. Come back again with another celebrity, icon, living legend. And today the personality we are meeting with is known to so many people. And he is the one who has served to the pinnacle of Toastmasters International fraternity. If you have no idea about Toastmasters International, then this video is for you. He will give you complete detail about this fraternity. In this region from Middle East, Africa, he is the only person who has reached to that level and served as international president of Toastmasters International. Isn't it something great? Keep watching. We have a celebrity, distinguished Toastmaster Colonel Mohammad Murad. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you so much for your time, first of all.
Well, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We would like to know something about your personal life. If you can describe yourself in few sentences. Who is Colonel Mohammad Murad?
Well, Mohammad Murad is basically a proud Emirati. That's what I always start with. Someone who has been born in the UAE, lived in the UAE, worked in the UAE, and with God's willing will die in UAE, because that is where I have been brought up. That is where I have been educated, had my family, had my career. So I'm a proud Emirati, a proud father of two beautiful girls,
Mashallah.
Who have two beautiful granddaughters for me now, and married to the same wife for around 33 years now.
Mashallah, mashallah.
And career-wise, I'm a police officer, retired now since 2003. Started my own business. I run a couple of businesses now.
So you are keeping yourself busy with your businesses only after retirement as a police officer?
Very much so, yes.
All right, great. Distinguished Toastmaster Colonel Murad, when did you join Toastmasters International?
1996. That is the year that I had joined. At that time, there was only one club in the whole of Dubai, and it was the second club in the UAE.
23 years now.
23 years now.
Are you still a member?
I am still a member, and I'm the member of the same club since 23 years.
All right. Have you happened to become member of any other club?
Yes. I was a member of the Advanced Club, Dubai Advanced Club, and then I was a charter member of Fujairah Club.
All right.
Because at that time we had gone for a demo meeting and they were one member short.
All right.
So I chose to become a member, and that was the only charter member club that I have ever been.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Why have you been continuing with Toastmasters International for 23 years? Can you give me one reason, please?
It's a very simple reason. This is what I always say. Because Toastmasters is a lifelong journey. It's not a program that you get on and you get off, just like a diet or any program for self-development.
All right.
It's a way of you to live. It's a way of you to interact with people. It's a way of you to help others enjoy the successes that you have had through the experience. So Toastmasters is not a program, it's an experience.
All right.
And once people realize that, that is where they will be able to get the maximum out of the program itself.
All right. Can you just share your comparison, Colonel Mohammad Murad, before becoming a Toastmaster and today?
I tend to not make these comparisons in any walk of life. So, people tell me when you were a student and you started working, or when you were working as a police officer and retired. The fact of the matter is that life is a continuum. And Toastmasters, I've been fortunate enough to have Toastmasters come into my life at a certain juncture. And it has continued. Now, if you ask me what has Toastmasters done for you in your life after you have joined, I could tell you that.
That's what I mean.
Because it's not a change, but it's adding to whatever you had done. So, for instance, I had finished my master's degrees, and Toastmasters came in to continue that journey of learning.
I see.
So it doesn't, there are no levels of saying Toastmasters is only a self-development program and your master's degree is an educational degree. Everything is a learning journey. So what happened to me,
like in terms of transformation,
when I joined Toastmasters is basically, and I have sat down and made this comparison many times. Before Toastmasters, I was working in the police, and I continued working in the police after I joined Toastmasters till I retired. I had only been promoted once before I joined Toastmasters, and I got promoted 3 times after I joined Toastmasters with a lesser period of time.
All right.
I got to finish my second master's degree while I was in Toastmasters. I had the courage to ask for voluntary retirement.
All right.
And start my own business without any savings whatsoever. And it has helped me to achieve the social status that I'm very fortunate to have among my friends, among my Toastmaster members, and
Alhamdulillah.
basically everyone that I meet with. So I'm thankful for that.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. DTM Murad, how long did you take to reach to the pinnacle of Toastmasters and served as international president? That was 2015.
2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically, I took it one step at a time.
All right.
And that is what I always advise people to do is if you aspire to have an end goal, you need to break them down into smaller goals. And sometimes this bigger goal is never apparent to you. And that is exactly what had happened to me, because I joined Toastmasters, as I said, with one club in Dubai. So we didn't know that there are clubs all over the world. We didn't know that there is a huge organization that runs the Toastmasters clubs all over the world, with more than 360,000 members now, and so on. So it is always about looking for opportunities when the time is right for you. So when the time came that I took on a leadership position in the club, I took it on.
Right.
Provided that I have the effort to do justice to the position and the time to give to it, because there is nothing that comes for free. Absolutely. There are many people who aspire to become the president just because the title is there. And let me tell you, it's not an easy job at each and every step of the way.
I agree. I have been a president, I'm a president, I know what it takes.
Yes. If you are doing the job correctly.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Even sometimes when you're not doing correctly, but you have to, you seek others' help. And without others' help, you, even if you're a marvelous person, you are one-man army, but still you cannot achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, well, this is one of the beauties of Toastmasters, is learning how to work with others, motivate them, inspire them, and at the end make sure that the effort that has been put in to achieve the goal is collectively shared.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Now, few critical questions, if you are comfortable. My observations. I'm not very old Toastmaster, but I've been very passionate. I'm still a passionate. I consider myself. I don't know about other people. I've observed some things in fraternity.
Right.
And I have observed, because I've traveled for Toastmasters only, I have traveled to 27 countries. Alhamdulillah, and I've spoken in different clubs. What I have observed, considering the quality of meeting experiences, that this organization would have been 5 times bigger than what we have it today.
Right.
But something is lacking. Why we are not able to achieve what we could have done.
Right.
This is my observation. I could be wrong or right. And I felt there is a lack of diligent leadership somehow. I'm not talking about club level, I'm talking about above that, from district onward. Do you think that my observation is correct, or I'm falling somewhere like a wrong side?
Your observation may be correct in certain regions. In other regions, it may not be correct, and it depends on what kind of scope of membership you are looking at, what kind of scope of organizational level you are looking at, and see, something will always be lacking.
That's right.
Not in Toastmasters only, in your life. I mean, if you can, if you yourself are telling me that you could be the best you can at the moment, but you are not the best you want to be in life, then there is something lacking.
Absolutely.
And the beauty of Toastmasters is that it all depends on working with people, and people are not the same.
Absolutely.
They have different perceptions, different thinking, different strategies, and different definitions of leadership.
Right.
So with the resources that are given to Toastmasters, and the pace of growth, and this is what you are referring to, I think, that you need to be 5 times bigger than what you are now. There is always two sides of growth. There is the danger of growing too fast and losing control, and on the other side is growing too slow and not getting to the maximum number of people. So there has to be a fine balance in between these two, in order to make sure that the standards are correct. I'm sure you have gone to many countries and you have visited many clubs.
Yeah.
You must have seen the difference in standards.
Not really much, but could be a procedure of meeting, could be a different, but otherwise everything is the gesture and the way they conduct a meeting, the way they invite other members is 95% is the same.
Right. So that's the process.
Yeah.
What about the people?
People is like I felt there's a lack of motivation from leadership.
Right.
Even including me. I can consider, I don't want to blame anybody but myself.
Right.
Like I felt there are so many people who are eager to join this organization because of the way the club experience is exposed, but end of the day we welcome people, but we are not able to continue motivating them.
Right.
And we demoralize them with our unpractical words. I would say, like we encourage them. If you are coming to my club, I would be very passionate, very deceptive. But once you join, you seek my help, and then I feel like, okay, I'll come back to you. Or when you're delivering your project, I would give you critical evaluation in terms of like as if I'm expecting you to become a brilliant speaker from very first speech. And this is one way I observed people are leaving this organization.
Right.
They are not continuing at all.
Right.
And I have experienced it. I'm not saying it. And even myself has experienced such bad evaluations. This is coming from leadership, very senior, most senior people. This is where we lack these things, this is where we are lacking, not practicing values of Toastmasters.
Right. So, if I may ask, why are you staying in Toastmasters if that's the case?
I'm concerned for myself. The reason is because I have experienced many failures in my past, and what I have learned is even positive or negative opinion should not matter for me.
Right.
Because I know my pace, I know my capabilities, my abilities, my strength, my environment, my resources. So I should not care about other people's opinion.
Right.
So, but it's not, everyone is not, suppose Amjad or Colonel Murad, everyone, a lot of people are sensitive. They're living in an environment, they cannot take one line which is said critically or unintentionally, I would say. I'm not saying intentionally, but unintentionally.
So basically, I believe, and throughout my career with Toastmasters, or my life with Toastmasters, I believe that there are many things that are being addressed. For instance, we have trainings that are done for officers, they are done for club members in moments of truth, for instance, that outline what would the new or the new member or the guest would require and how we could tackle it. But I believe, again, Toastmasters is an embodiment of what actual life is, but in a more positive, encouraging environment. And probably you are talking about the ideals, and ideals is something that we aspire to, and I believe from my experience on the board of directors and as president, there is no one who is shying away from giving the effort or looking at collective decisions that would enhance the member experience, enhance the retention of the members, and enhance how guests are brought into the Toastmasters fraternity, as you call it. But there's always things that need to be developed. And with people like you and myself and many others who are there, I think the good overshadows the bad in a big percentage.
All right.
So I think we need to look at in a positive way what Toastmasters has been doing for its current members.
Trust me, that's what I'm trying.
And people will be going. You know, Toastmasters is not for everyone. There are people who say, I don't take anything out of it, I don't see any value into it. Well, they are free to go and find some other venues.
They ask immediate results. And sometimes when something is cheap in the sense of economical, less expensive, people consider it like it's not going to be worthwhile.
Right.
I agree, but my question was to address and speak to the audience so they can learn the different sides of coin. Now, sir, actually one more critical question, important one. Like in our region, UAE, and especially UAE, we don't practice. There are 3 taboo topics we have considered:
right,
gender, politics, and religion. Normally we don't address, but I would like to highlight the political part, not the other 2. We don't speak, but we practice. And you have been serving on very senior positions, and I feel you know these things are being practiced. How we can control them, and how we can influence people not to practice as such,
right,
because we are harming the culture of this organization somehow for long run. And that has to be envisioned very carefully in our minds, because short run we don't actually see it. Even for long run we're not able to see it, but the side effects are consequences are very expensive, which will be paid by our generations.
Well, I want you to define what does politics mean.
Politics means like there's a culture, and if you must have experienced, because I'm very new, but I have learned the history of last 10 years, that there are similar faces coming and going, and they're taking the position. They have achieved DTM, they have achieved some different position, but they're coming again for different position, rather than giving the same position to the new generation,
right,
as an encouragement. And suppose I have served something, and I should not come back, but sit at the top, being a mentor, and guide those people who are driving, who are on driving seat. Then not to trust them, but holding the driving seat again. But then how we are going to do the transformation of transition of generations? That's where I felt like there's a huge lackluster.
Right. Well, to my knowledge, most of the Toastmaster leadership voluntary positions are elected positions, and if the members are actually electing, then I don't see where these faces have the authority that you are talking about, have the authority to come back over and over again, unless the members want them.
But this is all
and if the members want them, then that's what.
But these are all
needs
being
to happen.
planned and plotted beforehand.
How would that happen when people are electing at the same time?
I know that the people, they are all being elected, but at the same time, before the elections are the formalities only. Actually, this is my observation.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, no problem. But
Right.
for me, what I have observed is, and I discussed with so many people, trust me, so many people, and they are all just formalities. But everything is agreed beforehand.
Right. Well, I don't agree with that, because I have gone through elections many times.
No, you are on different position.
And well, how would you say that? I'm only one person of hundreds of people who have taken positions in each and every level. My advice, I get this comment from many people, by the way. So you're not the only one who has highlighted this.
That's great. Then it means there is something.
Well, it depends. It depends whether it's a perception that is built on experience, and I believe that is the case, because what I always do when I go into elections, I go above politics, and I don't look at what is happening, what discussions are happening. My responsibility lies to the voters to make sure that I convey to them that I am the best person, and I will do the best I can within the framework that is allowed for me to work within, with the team that I'm allowed to work with, to make sure that we do the best in order to develop Toastmasters in whatever level I'm coming into. So if my advice to people who are going into leadership positions is go above the politics. If you are into this politics circle, you will always be complaining, you'll always be blaming not being successful in certain things because of the politics, and that's human tendency. For every leadership organization or a leadership position in any organization, there will be a tendency that there will be competition, and always the people who are not successful are the ones who will be saying there are politics, this is why I didn't make it.
No, actually, the concern, the reason to raise this question was not personally me.
No, I'm talking generally.
This is an observation. Even that can be taken in that context as well, because I have lost. But my intention for the future is not to stand for any position.
Right.
But even last year, I delivered one message to so many people that I'm going to stand in different positions.
Right.
That was just a message to spread,
and we encourage that.
No, that's right.
People need to step in because we have a lack of leadership.
That was because I knew that beforehand. I knew that I'm going to lose.
Right.
The reason was to show muscle and tell people, deliver a message that guys, you need to all speak up and stand up.
See, there's a subtle message in what you had said. You said that you knew you are going to lose.
Because everything was set.
See, the thing is, it's all about mindset.
No, seriously, and you know that you have an idea actually, and because you know the culture, you have been from the ground, from the start, and you have served till the pinnacle,
right?
And you know what's happening.
But this is what I always say: you go above what's happening. If you are not able to get out of, when Stephen Covey says, look at the bigger picture, or go out of your circle of influence.
That's what I've done now.
Circle of comfort. Then you're done. Then your leadership experience is going to be much better, and you will not bother about the politics which are going on.
Trust me, I'm not. Honestly speaking, I'm not. It's live, it's recorded.
So you have grown above that, and this is what I would encourage you to let others understand, is that you will need to look at the bigger picture and do not indulge into people's behavior, because it's not about people's behavior, it's about the end cause, which is benefiting the maximum. And I think this is what you're doing right now.
That's what I wish, and that's what was that's what's my purpose from the start, from the beginning itself, to motivate self as well as other people.
See, I will tell you an experience that I had gone in running for international director. That's running for a member of the board of directors of Toastmasters, for those who do not know it. I ran twice, right? The first time I ran, my campaign was in a mess. I wasn't organized. I didn't have clear messages, and everything was in a jumble, and I lost, and it hit hard.
All right.
Right? Anyone who loses any election in whatever level will have a hard-hitting impact into them. But then I sat and reflected into what exactly went wrong. And I decided to run for the second time the next year, simply because I had the time and I could give enough effort to run through the 2 years of international director. And I ran the second time, and the second time is the time that I looked at the bigger picture. It's the time that I looked at what I need to do, regardless of what others are doing, and comparing myself to the other people who are competing against me. And this is where everything became clear, and it became more powerful. A more powerful message makes sure that people look at you in a more positive way.
I completely agree, sir. The reason to ask this question was, not everyone is as strong as few people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea, actually. When I ask questions, you believe or not, God knows, it's all not for me. It's for
I fully understand. I'm glad you asked this question, because there are many people who have questions in their mind going around,
yes.
And it's not clarified. Yes. So I'm glad that you have brought forward these for people to maybe understand from different perspectives.
Yes.
What does it take to become a real leader, and what does it take to go into this sea of people coming into your way and people competing against you? It's a fascinating journey.
It's fascinating. It's interesting, honestly. It's like you learn even more. Mm-hmm. You learn even more when you are in clash. It's not clash, but it's when you are face to face with somebody. I completely agree. Mm-hmm. So let's go to another question. Now we'll reach to the international level. Mm-hmm. I have been to World Headquarters in Denver. Have you been there? I think
no, unfortunately I have not, because I couldn't go to the convention this year, and I didn't have the opportunity to visit it before.
All right. Have you been to California headquarters?
Many times.
Great. What I have observed over there, there is no office for CEO. It's just a meeting room. Mm-hmm. And is CEO serving from home? And what is his duties? What are his duties?
Right.
And a lot of people, because I'm a member of one of the groups which has more than 20,000 members. There are a lot of firing questions, or soft questions are being thrown by different people, including me. And the concern is, a lot of people ask about the salary of CEO mm-hmm. and being increased. And the now question is arising that membership of members should be increased as well.
Right.
And the question arises, like, why and what CEO is doing, sorry to being very direct, and is charging, or he's being paid so much, and in what context? Would you like to put a light on it?
Well, it's basically the CEO is in charge of running World Headquarters.
Then what
so
about
everyone as paid staff is the responsibility of the CEO, and he is part of the executive committee and the board of directors, that he works in conjunction with them to set the strategies and implement the strategies.
So what about what are the roles of directors? Then we have 14 directors currently, and what control do they have?
Right.
And what authorities they have?
See, there are two sides of World Headquarters. There is the paid staff and World Headquarters as an organization,
yes,
where they take care of all the programs, of the training, the conference, everything that has to do with Toastmasters in terms of process and so on. So they are the operational part. And the board of directors with the executive committee and on top of them the international president is the voluntary side,
yes,
who takes care of setting strategies in conjunction with World Headquarters, input from World Headquarters, allocate resources, set budgets in order for World Headquarters to work within the parameters.
All right, great. Why can't we have CEO as a volunteer?
Because this is how Dr. Ralph Smedley had set it, and it has gone through generations, and this is how it is seen that it is best for the organization. And it's actually not that only. Toastmasters International is registered as a non-profit organization in the United States.
Yes.
So there are certain parameters that I'm not aware of. You need to talk to the legal people and probably Dan Rex, our CEO, in order to understand. Well, many people try, by the way. And Dan Rex is, if he attends to 350,000 members, he will not be able to do his job.
No
so
problem. If
I understand that there are many people who say that we need to talk to the CEO in order to clarify things and so on. It's not, we're not paying the CEO's salary to attend to the questions of the single members, because he is questionable by the board of directors and the executive committee. Members have different channels that they can talk to through the board of directors, through the business meeting that happens in the convention. That is where things are set and directions are set. But like you said, if you have a suggestion of the CEO being a volunteer position, well, that's not easily answered, and it's not for one person who has been in the leadership position to answer, because there's a whole board of directors with a collective experience of 200 to 300 years of Toastmasters that will get input of hundreds and hundreds of pages of background research that needs to be done and information in order to make this single decision of whether this is viable or not. And even if that thought comes through, there's a whole lot of process that goes into making the decision that this is worthwhile discussing or not.
See, in Toastmasters, sorry to cut you.
Yes.
If I have, there are many things we are trying and practicing every year. Every year there is something new. We are trying new people.
Not
we are
really.
practicing new people.
Not really.
They are successors. They are coming. And one question was coming up, like, suppose I have nothing. These are the questions, coming into my mind. If this position is okay, it's paid position, then why can't this position be for a certain period of time, 2 years, 3 years, something like that? And people can change, mindset can change, and new ideas will come, new blood will come, young generation. I mean, from board of directors who have served as international president, people who have exposed to the fraternity on a bigger picture. So why can't we have such experiences?
Well, again, it's not for me and you to answer, because there is a whole holistic strategic thinking happening on the board of directors level, and we as members, and I talk to you now as a normal member, because I'm no more into
absolutely
that
we are
position.
Talking on
we have entrusted the board of directors to do the best possible for the organization, and yet there are so many who actually go back and question them, while this has when we are voting, you are a president of a club, when you put down your proxy or you tell them to vote for a certain person, you are actually putting this person into authority.
Yeah.
And then we go back and ask, why are they doing this? Well, it's a big organization, it's a global organization that has to have a process in order for things to work. And the Toastmasters programs and the trainings and all this have gone through a whole lot of filtering process, structuring process, and every year, if the electoral process is having positions every year, that doesn't mean that they are working afresh with nothing in the background. My club, for instance, Dubai Toastmasters, you cannot say that the current president who has come in this year is doing everything new, because he or she is still abiding by the club constitution.
Club?
Yes.
Constitution,
right?
Not Toastmasters International.
Club constitution, which is part of Toastmasters International.
Because
right?
every club has a different experience normally.
No, the constitution is the same. When you when you charter a club. I don't know whether you know this or not.
I have.
So the constitution is the same. Do you agree with me that the constitution is the same for all the clubs, right?
Yes.
So they are not working just because they have taken on the position on 1st of July.
Right.
They are building on 23 years or 24 years of experience of this club. And the culture of the club and the members who have been with them for so many years, and the building on the new membership which is coming in. So this is why I say it's not a 1 year position, and it's not something that happens just because people come in. It's a whole structure that is disrupted if those people who come in do not understand what has been done and how the process is going on.
So it's important to learn the history as well.
Absolutely.
A bit.
Absolutely.
At least 5 years history, at least, just to have a blend of knowledge. Now perhaps the last question, hopefully it's last. So normally I have experienced that I'm not talking about any district, I'm just talking about the district I'm part of. What happens, like there is a budget. I know you are not part of the team, but the question is like you have gone through from that position. What happens? They are not ready to help clubs in general, but they will call
you.
Who
is not ready?
Team leaders. Who are the position holders?
Like who?
Position holders.
District position. You need to decide.
District position holder. District trio.
Right.
So they are not. They will call.
Ready to. They are not ready
help
to
the club when club is struggling, member falling out, and his club is not working well or not able to do it well. Members are not coming back due to certain any reason. The question is they are not ready to support that club, or and they will call you only when the membership is renewed, or something is required for them, just to get the DCB points or distinguished status, present distinguished status, or so on. But when it comes to the month of June, and they get into the business and they pay to few clubs, our division directors and area directors go pay the membership and get the club's status as present distinguished or whatsoever. Distinguished status, select our president or smartly whatsoever, which comes under the club category. So is this good practice? Because I have seen it. It happens to my clubs without my permission. It was done with the authority of club founder. Do you think it's a good practice? Just to get the status, and then we feel proud that we are number 1, or we are number 10, we are number 15 out of.
See, I'm
sorry.
No, it's perfectly all right. I'm a very proud member of a district that has achieved President's Distinguished status for years and years, since the time that it has been established. And that doesn't come from bad practice, by the way.
I'm not saying
it comes from very good practice, and I just want to clarify to the people who are listening is that Toastmasters is structured in a way that the next level is the level that is responsible for helping the lower level. So in your case, in your club case, your area director is in charge of helping the club. The district trio are not super people who will be able to attend to 4,000 or 5,000 people or 300 clubs because they have their own lives also that to attend to, and they have their own responsibilities. So it's very difficult to accuse certain people that they are not helping just because they are not there for this particular club, while they have 300 to 400 clubs that they need to attend to, and they have their own responsibilities.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about one club. I just gave an example of.
No, but you are saying that the district trio are not helping the clubs. Now, if we are becoming President's Distinguished year after year as a district, then there must be something that we're doing right.
There is something, of course, there is something, but that push is that's not realistic. That comes in the end, and you must have seen it even last year what happened, like a lot of clubs were, on a bad juncture, and district came into, they said, okay, this is from the budget, and they poured some money into and renewed some members, fake members.
Well,
I use such words, I'm sorry, but this is...
No, but don't say that I am aware of it, because I'm not aware of it.
No, sorry, but I mean to say like this is what's being... No, I mean to say the system, how system take surge immediately in few weeks.
Right.
I mean, now this is the status. In just like the last 11 years, it was going like tortoise, and then after that, all of a sudden like rabbit.
11 months, you mean?
Yeah, 11 months it was going slow. In last few weeks, and it took a surge and gone
but
up.
that's the responsibility of the club, isn't it? I mean, my club, we achieve our DCP points very early in the year, so we don't have to do this surge. But there are other clubs who take it lightly, and there will be an intervention from the district, because they are responsible of wanting to achieve the success for the whole district. To do that once it is the last month of the year and so on. Why are other clubs achieving DCP well in advance? Because they are planning well.
Even my clubs,
Yes.
my plan is always to achieve all DCP point, all
So did
10
you
points.
do that?
Yes.
If you did that, then
all my points to be achieved in 6 months only.
right.
Means December, with the second training, club officers training, I have to get my half point and 10 finished.
Right.
This is what I've been doing it no, my concern is not only for me.
Right.
My concern is for the club practice, the district practice.
So that's what I'm saying. If that's what it takes to go in the last moment and look at the people who have lagged behind, then that's what it takes. Now, if they don't do anything, and the district doesn't achieve distinguished, then what happens to those people and the clubs like yours and mine who have achieved the 10 points in 6 months feel if they don't get recognized as a distinguished district or a distinguished area or division and so on? So it's basically looking at recognizing the people who are successful and helping the people who have not been successful, and there is a hope for them to become successful by the end of the period.
That means it's okay to do this artificial practice?
No, at all. We need to adhere to Toastmasters values, and I'm very strict about that. Whether I was in position at that time or at this moment, if I see someone who is not adhering to the values, I call them out and will be diligent in making sure that they do not continue this practice. I'm not advocating bad practice at all, but I am highlighting that there are so many clubs that are doing good things.
I completely
and
agree.
the district is trying very hard in all levels, by the way, area, and we have a fantastic team, by the way. Year after year, I look at the teams that we have in our district, and I'm amazed at their potential. I'm amazed at the efforts that they do, because they keep me busy, by the way. I get called every now and then to do one thing or the other, and that shows that they want to take advantage of the experienced people, and they want to make something for the district in their term, and this is how it needs to happen.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And would you like to give some message to the audience who is listening to you, Toastmasters, and who are not Toastmasters yet? If they should join Toastmasters, why they should join Toastmasters, and who are Toastmasters, why they should continue this Toastmasters journey?
Right. Well, it's for the people who have not joined Toastmasters yet. Again, it's a lifelong journey, and if you are someone who wants to develop themselves and take along other people once you have achieved a certain level of success, then Toastmasters is the organization for you. However, and this goes to the new members and all the members, there's nothing for free. If you don't put in the effort, you don't get the results. So join Toastmasters, but make sure that you put in enough effort in order to gain the results.
So becoming a member will not make you a champion speaker or communicator.
Not at all.
You have to
Not
scratch your skin as often as possible on stage.
Absolutely.
And face the fear.
Absolutely. That's the way to go. Face the fear.
Face the fear. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I promised, inspiration continues. I will continue bringing living legends, inspiring personalities right in front of you. I try to clear so many questions. Now you got the answers. You conclude them the way you want. It's not for me only, it's for the people I every day face, and they ask questions. So life is not about perfection. Life is all about thriving and try to improve every single day. That's what we are all trying to do that. If you have felt anything bad about my questions, I'm sorry about that, but this is who I am. I always ask such questions. If you don't ask questions, then you regret for rest of your life. I don't want to regret in that context. You take care of yourself. So thank you so much.
Thank you.